Hello, folks. This is Dave. Wishing you happy Father's Day, all you fathers out there. Hope you're having a great day and that you were able to spend time with your families. What I thought I would do this Father's Day is show you part of my collection. I've mentioned before that I collect father and sons cards, which has led me into collecting older cards from sets that I don't normally collect, but older fathers and the younger sons, and seeing different sets of cards. I got started with this when I got back into the hobby and was looking for something different to do other than set collecting. Didn't necessarily want to collect Hall of Fame rookies and things like that. I know there's a lot of folks doing that, and I think it's great. And I love to watch your videos on that, but that's not what I do. But I knew of several fathers and sons combinations that had played in the major leagues, some from the state of Washington where I live. And one of those is Mel Stottlemyre. He was born in Mapton, Washington, Yakima Valley, where I was raised. And Mel was a great pitcher with the Yankees and went on to be a pitching coach for several teams. His son, Mel Stottlemyre Jr., pitched, and then Todd Stottlemyre was a pretty good pitcher in his day as well. So, kind of thinking about those, I thought I would get back into maybe collecting some cards of fathers and sons. Of course, being from Seattle, being a Mariners fan, there was the Griffey family. Ken Griffey Sr. there on the right, and his son Ken Griffey Jr. on the left. Many cards that have both of them, junior and senior, on the same cards. And then, of course, had to get a card of Ken Griffey Jr. I have several, but there is one example for this. And then there was this card of junior and senior, and the younger son, Craig, who never quite made it out of the minors and never made it to major leagues, but there's father and his two sons. I'm certain he's very proud of that. I had no idea there were as many fathers and sons that had played. As of a printout I had maybe a year or two ago, 263 different combinations of fathers and sons. And of those, I have about 145 of them. Some fathers and sons, both of them don't have cards, so it's difficult to get them. There are folks like Dante Bichette, and of course, his son, Bo, currently playing. Going back in time, I knew of the Averils. Here's Earl Averill, kind of a beat up copy. Of a Gowdy card. But, I'm not looking to upgrade. And his son, Earl, played for, 7, 8 years in the late 50s and early 60s. Also lived in Washington. Earl and Earl were both from a town maybe 10 miles from me here. Then, of course, there are the Alomars. There's Sandy Alomar Sr., Sandy Jr., And Roberto, the very good player. Here's a card of father and sons. We know that the Bellingers played. There's Clay Bellinger. And his son, Cody, now playing with the Yankees. I don't have a new card of Cody. Of course, the Bonzas, a very good father and son combination. Bobby, Barry. Combination that I hadn't heard of before, but Fred Brickell. Another Gaudy card. I like that somebody wrote retired on the back. It's my style. And then his son was Fritz Brickell. And both these players were nothing spectacular, but interesting that both made the show. Of course, being a Mariners fan, I knew of Mike Cameron, who came to the Mariners from Cincinnati when Griffey Jr. was traded from the Mariners to the Reds. And his son Daz, still playing in the league now. Off Camilli was a very good player for the Dodgers, MVP 1 year. I can't remember the year right now, in the 40s. And his son, Doug, played in the late 50s, early 60s. Jim Hegan was a catcher for the Indians. Think of the time around Bob Feller and Larry Doby. And his son, Mike, also played. Of course, we know of Matt Holliday and his son, Jackson, currently doing fairly well with the Orioles. And understand Matt has another son that will probably be drafted fairly highly in the future. Vern Law was a very good pitcher for the Pirates, and his son Vance played. Here is Merrill May. Oops, come on. And his son Milt. Many of us don't remember Geronimo Pena, but if you're a fan today, you know of his son Jeremy, very good player with the Astros. Of course, we know of the Ripken family. I didn't bother to dig out all of their cards, but Cal Ripken Sr. and Jr. on the right and Billy on the left. And then Pete Rose and Pete Rose Jr. I like this card, but Pete Rose Jr. actually had a cup of coffee in the big leagues. George Sisler, All-Star and Hall of Famer, who had two sons that played, Dick and Dave, who both played in the 1950s. We may not remember Mike Tresh, 1949 Bowman card, but Many of us remember his son, Tom Tresh, who was a good outfielder for the Yankees. You may have heard of Dizzy Trout. His son, Steve Trout, pitched in the big leagues as well. There is Brian Turang, was a Mariner, and his son, Bryce, currently plays with the Brewers. And maybe just to follow up with some of my favorite cards of my favorite father and son combo, the Griffeys. Just like these cards. Here's one of my favorite ones here. That's a fantastic photograph. And here's Junior and his dad running off the field. Of course, they played together with the Mariners for a single season, I think, maybe two. But they hit back-to-back home runs in one game. Fathers, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoy your families and show them and tell them that you love them. Thanks for watching. Y'all come back now. Here.